Today, we're diving into a quiet revolution that's happening on our street corners. It's all about how new sensor technology is letting us see the invisible threats in our cities, making them smarter and, most importantly, a whole lot safer.
So let me ask you something. When you hear the air quality report for your city, you probably think, okay, that's the air I'm breathing, right? You figure it's pretty much the same whether you're at home, at work, or in the park. But is it really?
The short answer is a big, resounding no. The air quality can be wildly different from one block to the next. Experts have a name for this, the neighborhood gap. And this isn't just some fun fact. This gap has huge consequences for our health and for how our cities are run. What this gap really means is that our cities are flying blind. They're making decisions about our environment based on information that's incomplete and sometimes totally misleading. Now, this slide really brings that blind spot to life. The official citywide average for those nasty PM 2.5 particles might be reported as 150, but on your actual street corner right next to that busy intersection, it could be spiking up to 400. You're breathing air that's more than twice as polluted as the average. And get this, it can be even more extreme. Studies have shown that air pollution can vary by as much as 8 times. Not across the entire city, but within a single city block. That is a massive difference. And, this isn't just about pollution. These blind spots explain so many other weird city quirks. Ever wonder why one underpass floods every time it rains while the street 2 blocks over is bone dry? Or why one neighborhood feels like an oven in the summer? It's all about these undetected microclimates. So the big question is, why do we have these blind spots in the first place? Well, it all comes down to the technology we've been using for decades. And frankly, it's just not up to the job anymore. For years, cities have relied on these things. They're called Continuous Ambient Air Quality Monitoring Stations, or CAQMS for short. They're huge, they're super accurate, and they're considered the gold standard for official reporting. But for actually managing a city day-to-day, they have some pretty serious flaws. A huge part of the problem, the price tag. Just one of these stations can cost between 1 and 1.5 crore rupees. That's a massive chunk of any city's budget for a single monitoring point. And because they're so expensive, a big city might only have a few of them. So you get this thing called spatial sparsity. They're just too spread out. They completely miss the pollution hotspots at a specific traffic light or near a construction site. Their data is great for yearly government reports, but it's practically useless for taking action right now on the ground. But what if there was a better way, a way to fill in all those dangerous gaps in the map? Well, there is, and it's called hyperlocal intelligence. Hyperlocal monitoring is a total game changer. Instead of just a few big, expensive stations, you deploy a whole network of small, low-cost sensors all over the city. They're all connected to the internet, creating this incredibly detailed, high-resolution map of the city's environment that's updated in real time. And what are these little sensors measuring? Basically the whole shebang. You've got all the major air pollutants, particulate matter, harmful gases, plus all the critical weather data you need, like temperature, humidity, and crucially, rainfall and wind. It's a complete picture, block by block. Now, this is maybe the most important idea of all. It's about a fundamental shift in thinking. We're moving away from just collecting data to check a box for the government. That's compliance monitoring. Instead, we're using that data to actively protect people from harm. That's exposure management. It's about action, not just reporting. Okay, so this isn't about hoarding more data. It's about using data to do things, to actually make a difference. So let's see what that looks like in practice. So here's how the system works. The information flows from those little sensors, say on a streetlight, straight to the city's central command center. From there, it gets pushed out to the people who can actually do something about it, the traffic departments, sanitation crews, public health officials. And this is where it gets really powerful. The system can even trigger actions automatically. So imagine a sensor at an intersection detects a big spike in pollution. Bam, the system can change the traffic light timing to clear the jam. Or a sensor detects heavy rain in a flood-prone area. It can automatically switch on the dewatering pumps before the water even starts to rise. It's proactive, not reactive. This is really the foundation of a truly smart city, a city that can sense its own environment and respond to problems intelligently. And this isn't just theory, it's already happening. Yeah, this isn't some far-off sci-fi future. Cities in India are using this technology right now and getting incredible results. Let's start with Indore, which has really set the standard.
So how did they do it? By using hyperlocal data. Indore figured out exactly which roads were the dustiest and at what times. Then they sent their street sweepers precisely where they were needed most. The result? A perfect score in the National Clean Air Survey. That is what data-driven action looks like.
And it's not just about air quality. Let's head over to Mumbai, where the big challenge is often flooding. They're using a network of hyperlocal rain sensors to get ahead of the problem. The system gives the city's disaster response team a crucial 90-minute head start on potential waterlogging. 90 minutes might not sound like a lot, but when you're trying to clear drains and divert traffic before a flood hits, it is absolutely everything. It saves property and it saves lives. And what's really smart is that by adopting this tech, cities are also hitting major national targets. It gives them the exact data they need to meet clean air goals, use government grants more effectively, and boost their national rankings, which often unlocks even more funding. It's a win-win-win. So we end with this thought. What if your city could finally see all the invisible things that affect your daily life? The hidden pockets of pollution, the secret flood risks, the unseen hotspots of heat. With hyperlocal monitoring, it can. And that ability to see is the first, most critical step to building a smarter, safer, and healthier city for all of us.